I'm JJ, and my next few videos are going to profile something very near to my heart: misunderstood but common mental illnesses. Clinical anxiety has played a huge role in my life, and not just negatively. This is the story of growing up with anxiety from your classmates who have worked their entire lives to not make it their story's entirety.
All right. Hello, I'm Daisy Gutierrez. I am 20 years old, and I was born and raised in San Francisco. I think my very first experiences with anxiety date back to when I was a toddler, to be honest with you. While other people that were my age were starting dance classes or soccer, I didn't do any of that because I was just terrified. You and I relate to this of having constant energy and anxiety running through our bodies.
What you're experiencing is so physical. I didn't think it was anxiety when I had my first panic attack. I thought I needed to go to a hospital. I think I thought I was having a brain aneurysm.
For me, what helps some of the times is channeling that energy into some of my interests. You feel crazy, you feel not normal, right? Because the symptoms are so intense.
It's like being chronically ill, but from inside of your own head, so you're the only one who knows it's happening, and you don't feel like convincing other people that it's happening. How often does someone say to you as they're getting treatment, am I crazy, or I feel crazy?
Literally all the time. My name is Keely Spring. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in the state of California, and I often work with anxiety, depression, perfectionism, imposter syndrome. There are several symptoms of anxiety disorders. They're under the category of disorders that are anxiety related. You're gonna get things like feeling keyed up, on edge, irritable,
pounding heart, vertigo,
a lot of sweating and a lot of shaking,
difficulty concentrating. You're gonna have some sleep disturbances, inability to fall asleep or stay asleep, those types of things.
Getting a diagnosis, how did that make you feel?
Very scared at first. My family has always been supportive, but I've had to do a lot of seeking medical help. I had to be more independent. In that sense, yeah, it did change my relationship with myself. I had to be willing to do my own research and look for my own therapist. So very scary at first, but definitely incredibly liberating once you make that phone call and you say, I need a mental health screening and I need you to guide me through this process because I think I have this and this and this.
A few months before I turned 18, I got my formal diagnosis of generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder. Those things were explained to me, and the science behind them was explained to me.
Panic does fall under anxiety disorders as a whole, but it has a different aspect than anxiety itself. So anxiety is more of an anticipation of some sort of worry or fear, whereas panic is a fear response, starting more often in our amygdala, which is a fight, flight, or freeze experience. So it's going to come on rapidly, it's going to come out of nowhere oftentimes. There might be a trigger at other times, but it can just overwhelm the senses.
So much relief, just that it wasn't just that I was crazy.
I started taking medication 2 years ago, so 2020 during the pandemic, which is when I got diagnosed. Just know that if you end up doing therapy or medication, it is so normal, nothing to be ashamed of. I was scared for medication, but it got to a point where I was like, I need to try it because I won't know if I don't try it.
When anxiety lasts a longer time, people often kind of lose their patience in helping others. Rightfully so in some ways. They feel exhausted, they don't have the tools. If that is happening, then that's a good indication that it's better to talk to a clinician or somebody who can help you kind of manage those symptoms. It may be inconvenient, right? I may be headed to class and all of a sudden I have a panic attack. Well, that's going to impact my ability to show up to class, and that's inconvenient. And whether or not I have a professor that's going to be compassionate towards that or understanding, it's completely normal to have these feelings. And even if they are passing, or I've just had one panic attack or something I'm not sure is panic, it never hurts to actually ask for help. The earlier that you intervene on a lot of these things, the better off you are later in life. So if your friend, for example, is having a panic episode, the best thing you can do is just sit with them, breathe, don't try to fix it. Just help them to kind of regulate their breathing. We want to get them back into their body and back into a grounded space so that they can then start to interact. And that could last a minute, it could last an hour. It really depends. But the more that you help somebody to find the breath and, kind of get back in their body, the faster those types of symptoms are going to dissipate.